Okay. From Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi-Lila, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We are reading from Adi-Lila, chapter 4, text 63. Hladini Sandini Samvet, Tvai Eka Sarva Samstita, Lada Tapa Kari Mishra, Tvai no Guna Varjite. O Lord, you are the support of everything. The three attributes, Hladini, Sandini, and Samvet, exist in you as one spiritual energy. But the material modes, which cause happiness, misery, and the mixtures of the two, do not exist in you, for you have no material qualities. This text is from the Vishnu Puran 1:1269. So we were hearing yesterday that the material energy and the spiritual energy, both are the energies of Krishna. But the spiritual energy is called his internal energy. And the material energy is called his external energy. Separate, it's external. It's not in him. Whereas the internal energy is within him. And what is that? The Hladini, Sandini, and Samvit. Satchid Ananda. But the material modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, they're not in him because the material energy is separated. Separated. So he's not affected by this goodness, passion, and ignorance. Sandinira Sara Amsha Ashuddha Sattvanam Bhagvanera Satahaya Yahate Vishram. The essential portion of the Sandini potency is Shuddha Sattva. Lord Krishna's existence rests upon it. So Sandini is the eternal, right? Pure existence, the existence potency of the Lord, the eternality. And Lord Krishna's existence rests upon it. Krishna is eternally existing because he has this Shuddha Sattva. This is his energy. She belongs to him. It's just giving us like a detailed thing into Krishna. Mata Pita Sthan Griha Shaya Sana Ar E Sabha Krishnera Shuddha Satvera Vikar. Krishna's mother, father, abode, house, bedding, seats, and so on are all transformations of Shuddha Sattva. So, father, mother, abode, house, bedding, seats. Our house, our bed, our chairs, everything is made of material, earth, water, air, fire. And then our mother and father, they are souls, but they are inside the material body. And that also they are mother and father for us in this life. We don't know who was our mother and father in the past life, and we do not know who's going to be our mother, father in the next life, because we actually eternally, we are just souls. We do not belong here. We do not have an eternal, like an eternal over here. For example, I have a set of father and mother. I don't know who they were in the past life. I don't know who they're going to be in the next life, you know. But yes, how we are all related is we are all eternal parts and parcels of Krishna, each and every living entity. But for Krishna, they're all Shuddha Sattva, all Shuddha Sattva. Lord Krishna's father, mother, and household affairs are displayed in the same Vishuddha Sattva existence. A living entity situated in the status of pure goodness can understand the form, qualities, and other features of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna consciousness begins from the platform of pure goodness. Although there is a faint realization of Krishna at first, Krishna is actually realized as Vasudeva, the absolute proprietor of omnipotence, or the prime predominating deity of all potencies. So Krishna's mother, father, everything is in Vishuddha Sattva. Now, what is said that a person who's come to the platform of pure goodness can understand. Right now, we have been struggling so hard with the modes of passion and ignorance and trying to come to the mode of goodness. trying to come to the mode of goodness, by waking up early, chanting, deity worship, read the scriptures, being satisfied. We heard a few Brahmanical qualities now in Bhagavatam. So we are trying to come to the mode of goodness so that we can transcend this mode of goodness and come to the point of pure goodness. And then in pure goodness, we will be able to actually understand the Supreme Lord. When the living entity is situated in Vishuddha Sattva, transcendental to the three material modes of nature, he can perceive the form, quality, and other features of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through his service attitude. The status of pure goodness is the platform of understanding, for the Supreme Lord is always in spiritual existence. So we want to see the Lord face to face. We have to come to this point of Vishuddha Sattva. How do we go to Vishuddha Sattva from where we are right now? Continue hearing and chanting. Follow the four regulative principles. Krishna is always all spiritual. Aside from the parents of the personality of Godhead, all the other paraphernalia of his existence, are also existentially a manifestation of Sandhini Shakti or a transformation of Vishuddha Sattva. To make this more clear, it may be said that this Sandhini Shakti of the internal potency maintains and manifests all variegatedness of the spiritual world. So how all the variegatedness in the spiritual world is because of this Sandhini Shakti, maintains and manifests. So it's not that in the spiritual world there is nothing, there is only light. No, there's very beautiful forms there, and all that is spiritual, being maintained by the Sandhini Shakti. In the kingdom of God, the Lord's servants and maidservants, his consorts, his father and mother, and everything else are all transformations of the spiritual existence of Sandhini Shakti. The existential Sandhini Shakti in the external potency similarly expands all the variegatedness of the material cosmos, from which we can have a glimpse of the spiritual field. So Sandhini Shakti is the Shakti of eternality. And how is this manifested in the material world, in the material energy? By so much variety that we see here in the material world. Material world, there's so much variety, 8,400,000 species of life. In my experience, I barely know any thousand. How many species do I know, So there's a lot of variety here. And it's coming. This is just to show us that the real variety is there in the spiritual world. So we can see no one can become Krishna's father and mother because they are all his own internal energy. But what the jiva can become is maybe become a friend of the father or a friend of the mother, a gopa or a gopi or an assistant or a servant, like that. But nobody can become someone else. We can't become someone else. We are all individuals. We each have a particular role to play in the spiritual world. We have a particular activity in the spiritual world. So we do not need to aspire to become someone else. We just have to aspire to understand who we are. And Krishna and Lord Chaitanya says, Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nitya Das. Yes, we need to understand that, and then whatever is our true form in the spiritual world will be manifested in its own due course of time. We do not need to be worried about that. Is that okay?
Just for the clearance, like as you said, that the one who is, one who have had their, is always in the Vishuddha Sattva, they can come face to face with God. So is it that the acharyas were, right?
Yes.
Because they could always be in the Leela. So that
Yes.
means that they were in the Vishuddha Sattva.
Yes. Yes. They are Nitya Siddhas, the acharyas. Okay. We are Nitya Bhada. We are eternally conditioned. The acharyas who come, they are Nitya Siddha. You know, they are not conditioned souls like us. And that's how they can give us Krishna, because they know Krishna so well. So they can give us so much details about Krishna. And they can guide us how we can go back home. Yes. That's a correct understanding.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So we'll stop here from now.
Okay.
Shri Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.